Hello, reporting from Ukraine.
Okay, you had us nervous there for a minute. Should we
Yeah,
be nervous about you being there?
no,
No?
you
Okay.
at this point you shouldn't be nervous about me being in Ukraine. Things are incredibly calm and
Yeah.
quiet and chillax here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what every reporter from Ukraine says.
Okay.
That everything
Well,
is like really quiet.
I know that you, counterterrorism expert that you are, Russia expert, you were shocked that Putin lied about pulling his troops back. I'm sure.
Well, we don't know if Putin has pulled anything back. In fact, the repositioning that's taking place from Crimea in the south, the two motorized infantry brigades are actually repositioning to their home bases closer to the assault positions in
Yeah.
Ukraine. So
Yeah.
they actually are possibly being repositioned to a better advantage for the kind of operation they want to do. The one small video we saw coming from Belarus of these guys crossing a bridge on a rail train only had about 20 pieces of equipment. And they too could be equipment that's broken. It could just be an enormous propaganda push.
Yeah.
But that still leaves the 150,000 soldiers. 70% of the Russian army is surrounding Ukraine right now.
Yeah. Well, you tweeted yesterday, you said, warning, an unambiguous indicator of war. This Russian helicopter assault force has assembled in Crimea. You said highly irregular, serious threat. You also said last time I saw a force like this was when we detected 50 Iraqi army helicopters 24 hours before they landed 600 commandos in Kuwait City in 1991.
Me because why would they instantly, just out of nowhere, assemble a 70 helicopter force that wasn't, maybe they're going to say it's part of the exercises that they're saying are taking place around Ukraine, but Ukrainian armed forces are at maximum alert.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. Interesting. One of your tweets I wanted to ask you about. You said if I were POTUS, I would declare a total air exclusion zone over Ukraine controlled by USAF, USN fighters, along with the Ukrainian Air Force and any other allied air forces. Let Putin know Ukraine may not be in NATO, but they have an ally in America. I mean, I think the president gave that message in his speech, but talk to us more about that tweet.
Well, we did this over Iraq. We created a safe haven for the Iraqi Kurds. When we held that safe haven for 10 years, 15 years almost, where we said we declared that area an air exclusion zone where the U.S. fighters will be operating. And of course, people immediately, we've got this branch of the libertarian left that comes completely around to the Glenn Greenwald right. And, they were saying, oh, you just want a war with Russia. Here's a way not to have a war. Russia's complete advantage here is that they can completely dominate the airspace of this country, if given. They can shoot down. I mean, the Ukrainian Air Force has about 80 fighter jets. The first few days will be nothing but nonstop fighter battles. And they have no intermediate air defenses, really, to speak of. So if we want to solve this problem, where, NATO, Ukraine's not in NATO, but that doesn't mean the United States couldn't act on its own and say, hey, we are declaring this to make sure that this neutrality holds. We declare an air exclusion zone. The Ukrainians won't fly. The Russians won't fly. We will fly and guarantee their airspace. Now the Russians have to consider invading without air support, without fighter cover. There are over 500 Russian fighters within range of all of Ukraine, to give you an idea of how unbalanced it is.
So, Malcolm, we were saying, I mean, it seems like one of, Putin's calculations is, he's been able to, since Trump, have an entire party and network here that is on his side and actively does his talking points and Russian talking points.
Yeah.
How does that play? I mean, it's just, well, first of all, it's just so deeply un-American to me that, that they're just rooting openly for Putin and for Russia and whatever hurts Biden. How does that play into what you think is going to happen here?
Well, I mean, it's already playing into it. We have a political party here that is on the side of an enemy of the United States, on a major adversary of the United States. And, they want a disaster. I mean, some of these people talk like that Biden administration is utterly incompetent. They're going to stumble us into war. Donald Trump didn't get us into any wars. during that time. Yeah, you're right. He didn't. You know what he did do? He gave away Afghanistan secretly.
Yeah.
Just handed it to the Taliban in a secret deal. Sometimes showing strength and resolve, which is what the president is doing in NATO, is the way to be a leader. Let me tell you, Biden has won on this issue. Anybody who says that Biden hasn't and they don't know, he has won. The United States, Putin is getting nothing out of this deal that he's doing, this activity that he's doing. I know he's edging around there with his armed forces, trying to make it appear that he could invade on a moment's notice. It would utterly destroy the Ukrainian economy. No Russian could move around the world with money that goes anywhere near a Western or a U.S. bank, which means they would be isolated utterly again.
Yeah.
So that being said, the Biden administration has played this properly. He set up, I had someone ask me the other day if he was overplaying his hand with the evacuation of Americans because of Afghanistan. Yes, everyone complained bitterly when he said Americans should get out and that they didn't facilitate that. Well, they're doing it here. I'm in the western city of Lviv. Every embassy in the capital is now in this city. And this city's just 30 miles from Poland. So, Biden has now unified all of Europe on our side, even the Germans.
Yeah.
And in fact, we may have strengthened NATO because other countries now want to be part of this.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Malcolm, I want to get your take on a lot of other intelligence experts are saying this was a really smart move. Us talking about the false flag informations and releasing our intelligence and putting the whole spotlight of the whole world on Putin, and we see you. We see exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, well, what Biden did by allowing U.S. intelligence to release the information about the details of the false flag attack, the details of Russian special operations, quite possibly coming in and doing what I had predicted a couple of weeks ago on this show, doing a special operation and jumping right into the city of Kyiv. You take the enemy's greatest strength and you expose it to the world. Now they have to make a decision as to whether they're going to go or not go, with the possibility that everyone now knows.
Yeah.
The false flag attack idea has been used before. The Russians used it to invade Finland in 1939. So, yes, it was a very good deal to put all that information out. But you still have Americans like Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity who think that anything that the United States does in its interest in NATO's interest is a threat to their real masters, which is Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we were saying, too, I mean, Trump would have given Putin Kyiv for Christmas, to retaliate against Zelensky for not helping him in the 2020 election, right?
He absolutely would have.
Yeah. So, anyway, by the way, since we have you've written a couple of books on Trump Russia. It is so amazing. This is the only indicator we have that they really must be getting close to justice for Donald Trump on a number of levels, because this Durham story is a giant nothing burger, right? That they're trying to fan into this huge story, right? About, go ahead.
Who knows what they're talking about? I mean, it was a simple filing that, on a case where the individuals who were doing these activities, which is checking servers, were doing it before the election on contract, authorized to check the servers. No crime was committed. They're turning this into Trump Russia, right?
Right.
So ignore them. They're crazy.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's a giant distraction, and the New York Times, thank God, finally knocked down every single one of this ridiculousness. But anyway, when there's a bigger distraction and there's chyrons that Hillary should be executed, something's happening. Something's up in Trump world. All right, Malcolm, stay safe. Are you coming? When are you? Do we? First of all, do you have a prediction what's happening this week or not over there? And what are your plans?
My prediction is that the Russians likely won't invade, and what we've been hearing is what's called the enemy's most dangerous course of action. The enemy's most likely course of action is to keep edging this scenario. A Russian diplomat put it as a tension plateau to keep us all thinking it's going to happen. But Russia, as soon as they start moving equipment back, that will be a great defeat for Vladimir Putin. He'll have to figure out another way to do this.
Yeah.
And I'll be back. I'll be out of here this weekend.
Okay. All right. Stay safe, my friend. And thank you once again.
All right.
All right. Bye. There he goes. Oh, it's not really a secret mission. We just said where he is, but it's an important mission.
In Ukraine.
Yes.
It's an important Stephanie Miller Show business.
I mean, it's
in Ukraine.
I don't know how he had the budget to send him there.